In order to progress in the chalice dungeons, you're required to fight Amygdala with your health cut in half at least once. After this grueling experience, most people never want to go through it again, and with the recent discovery of false depth chalices, some players are just skipping the defiled chalice altogether. But some of the most interesting and unique weapons are ideally upgraded with triangular and waning gems, which only drop from Amygdala. If you want to use the Holy Moonlight Sword, Boomhammer, Amygdalan Arm, or Ligarius Wheel, you might really want to grab these gems. And despite what you might think, they're actually pretty easy to obtain. Assuming you're save scumming, it should only take about 20 minutes to get a usable abyssal nourishing gem, and then only about an hour to get your ideal gem. So here's my method for fighting Amygdala. I'm not sure if this is the absolute best strategy, but it's one that works really well for me. As soon as you walk in, you're going to want to immediately start running towards Amygdala. If you sprint at top speed, you minimize your chance of using her laser attack, but she'll often just use it anyway. So your first priority is just to get out of the way of the laser, but then you want to immediately run back so that you're facing her. So here's our first real opportunity to do some damage. This attack always comes out the same. You just dodge to the right, swing at her head. As soon as you see this beige liquid coming out of her head, you want to use a ranged attack. You can take advantage of these openings with any weapon, but they don't come that often. Most of the time we can only hit her with an overhead swing, and it has to be pretty quick too. Her next attack is going to be the most common one. You can avoid this attack by just walking backwards, and then walk forwards right as it happens, so you can swing at her head. At just this moment we can do a visceral. Now we want to hit R2 first, and then start tapping R1 so we can get 2 attacks in. And then hit R1 again right as it ends so you can get one last hit. When she uses her attack with multiple laser beams, you don't want to do what you're seeing me doing here, where I quick step in multiple different directions, because you can get hit that way. You really just want to quick step in one direction, but I'm trying to keep her in the center of the stage because this map has a bunch of pillars which can make it difficult to avoid her jumps. Speaking of which, when she gets to about a third of her health, she'll rip her arms off and start jumping like crazy, so I'm preemptively walking underneath her crotch, and you just want to stay there the rest of the game. Whenever she jumps, you just want to stop what you're doing, stand completely still, don't move at all. This is the only way to really guarantee that you're not going to get hit. You can still get hit from time to time, but it's pretty rare. So the hitboxes seem to work like this. Her legs and her tail don't really take much damage. You can actually make them bleed like I just did there, and that will increase the damage that you do to them, but not by that much. So you're always just trying to hit her in the crotch, or right where her asshole would be. There's a spot right there where I'm aiming at, her pubic bone. You can't always hit it, but she'll take about 600 instead of 100. In order to hit this spot, you need to stand a little bit back from her. You need to back up a couple feet like I'm doing there. Now whenever you see this blue aura thing that she's doing, you immediately want to start backing up to avoid the attacks, but then start walking towards her head so you can get that head attack in. She has a few more attacks that you weren't able to see in this video, but for pretty much all of her attacks you can use exactly the same strategy. During the first half of the fight you want to stay facing her but quite a ways back. During the second half you want to stay right under her and just barely move at all. You just observe her from a distance. You'll see there are moments during most of her attacks where her head drops down, and usually it's after her attack. Those are the moments where you can walk in, swing, and walk back. I might post an addendum or something like that can show more of the attacks and exactly where is the moment where you can get the swing in. So if anybody's interested in that, leave a comment and I'll start recording a new video.